Good afternoon, Raptor Tank. I'm Joseph Granger on behalf of Five Breaths Healing. I'd like to start by briefly introducing myself. So I'm a pre-med student here at Montgomery College, and my hope is to be at an acupuncture school by next fall. I got my start into herbalism 5.5 years ago at a wilderness skills college, and that's where I had a really profound experience with these two beautiful and lovely herbs you see as the background on my first slide. And that was sort of an epiphany for me, sort of an aha moment in my introduction into the world of herbalism. I'd like to say this too, since I only have 5 minutes, that the two most important things that my first teacher taught me was that dedicating yourself to acts of service for your community is a way to get some of life's best gifts. And people that remain fascinated by the world of natural science never stop to see their time in the world as a beautiful and amazing experience. Here, I've included a little bit about my educational lineage and some of the more prominently known herbalists that I've worked with, and that's kind of to explain how it is that I know what I know and where my knowledge comes from, and to give some, if there's any herbalists out there, an idea of the style of herbalism that I practice. So, what is Five Breaths Healing, and where does it fit into the world of herbalism? What we offer is very high quality clinical herbal assessments and then unmatched convenience. The two ways that herbalism is practiced in this country is either you go see a clinician and they give you a high level of clinical consultation, and then they sort of leave you on this wild goose chase of these 5 things that you need to put together, and like one's at Mom's Organic Market and one's on the internet and other things you have to get yourself and put together yourself. And immediately customer compliance starts to drop through the floor. The other way that herbalism goes down in the United States is that you go to an herb shop, you read a Wikipedia article, and you think that you need something, and so you kind of go get it, and while you're not really at any risk of being hurt or harmed by it, the clinical effectiveness of the use of herbal medicine is all about specificity, and it's about matching really unique individuals with really specific herbs. And so the quality of clinical results that you get is going to be determined by that body of knowledge. So, the people associated with Five Breaths Healing. I have the Mid-Atlantic School of Herbalism Practitioner Circle. This includes registered nurses, it includes nutritionalists, it includes acupuncturists, and it includes massage therapists, people with really diverse educational backgrounds who are actively raising the standard of the quality of herbalism that's practiced in this country. The two names I have mentioned after that, Jeremy Klein and Zachary Lingo, I have these people basically on staff. One is my sort of digital and technologically and website oriented person, and then I have Zachary Lingo as sort of a business assistant who helps me on the business side of things. On the bottom you see my registered herbalist mentors. Both of these people, Miles Coleman and Susan Kramer, have over 20 years of clinical herbal experience, and every person that I give a consultation to, while I make them a formula, I write up a page on them that's reviewed by both of these people before I then proceed. What I'm asking for at the Raptor Tank, 97 herbs with the average cost for each being $31.17 per pound, bringing it to a total of $3,075.87 for a fully stocked apothecary. A lot of the people that are going to be having access to this is the Mid-Atlantic School of Herbalism Practitioners Circle. It's a must for me that all the things that I get are organic, on the generally regarded as safe list, and never sulfur treated. The things I already have, I have a scale, I have pristine storage equipment, I have 2 brick and mortar locations out of Greenbelt, Maryland and College Park, Maryland, and I have practitioner's insurance, and I have informed liability consent waivers. So a little bit about the business cost modeling. Basically, we've set up a software such that I can distribute the herbal formulas that I come up with, bill my clients, and then have it manage my inventory all in one swoop. Basically, anything that I dispense is accounted for, and that's just a really easy, streamlined way to do the business. Basically, we want to serve the needs of these community herbalists who are pushing the precedent of the quality of herbalism in this country, take on high-quality practitioners and give them access to these herbs, and support the healing and educational journey of the people in this community. Thank you so much for your time. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much. It was a really great presentation. I'm fascinated with the topic. What are some symptoms that people might have that would motivate them to come to an herbalist?
Well, the beauty of the practitioner circle is that everyone has an area of expertise. Me personally, I do a lot of work with chronic pain, and that's part of the lineage of the herbalism that I practice. And like the nitty-gritty clinical aspects of some of this, you're gonna talk to somebody who maybe had a traumatic injury or is healing from traumatic injury. Their pain level is at like an 8 every day. And basically over the course of say a month, you're getting that down to like a 3 or a 4, and you're helping people manage chronic pain. Because a lot of the solutions offered are on like anti-inflammatory drugs or opioids, or things that people want to get away from. And so you can give them really real help with a lot of different conditions, basically.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Is there a licensing requirement?
So one of the best accreditations that you can get as an herbalist, because there's not like an herbalist school where you get a bachelor's really, is your registered herbalist certificate, and that requires 100 clinical peer-reviewed herbal consultations, and for that, the mentorship is required, and so that's why I'm taking that avenue. Additionally, practitioners insurance is like pretty cost effective, and that covers like basically all of these people who practice herbalism, whether they're a nurse, massage therapist, acupuncturist, and yeah, so there's like informed liability consent waivers and things like that that surround all the work we do. But a lot of it's generally regarded as like a safe way to interact with people.
So where do you fit into the ecosystem? That was one thing that wasn't totally clear.
Right.
Do you work directly with the customer, or do you work with those who
Right.
work with the customers and provide them with the herbs?
So I do both. I have my own clinical herbal practice in which people pay me for my consultation. It's about an hour and a half, and they get a write-up of all our time together, and then I get them an herbal formula that's specific for them, and then I check with my mentorship people, and then I email them the next day and prepare that for them and give it to them. Where I fit in is people are missing that gap between having a stocked apothecary, peer-reviewed mentorship, and clinical consultation. Either they go in with essentially no consultation and just get whatever they think is okay and you're allowed to do that, or they get the consultation and then they have to get a bunch of things that they don't know where to find. And so there's this gap in the market of if you do both, I mean, you're meeting the needs of a lot of people who are looking for this type of care. Yes, ma'am.
So I have two questions. One, where is your practice?
There's in College Park, Maryland, there's the Mid-Atlantic School of Herbalism, and that's like a place that we meet. That's in Berwyn Road off of Route 1 in College Park, Maryland.
So you have a physical site?
Yes, that's where you see people. That's just where the location is, and that's where the meetings take place.
That's
right.
wonderful.
Right.
So may I ask, because I'm an advocate also of
Sure.
natural and alternative medicines, what I'm trying to understand is how do you screen for allergies and adverse reactions?
How do you screen for allergies and adverse reactions? Typically, there's a list of the most prominent things that people are allergic to, and you're going to go through that checklist before you administer anything. And that's like things in the mint family. There's also another list which goes into that question is like, what if they're on medications or interactions? There's a really a lot of these herbs are like in the almost regarded as food category and generally regarded as safe. Like turmeric, is one that everyone's heard of. It's like regarded as a food that's not really going to have any indications, but you are cognizant of the fact if somebody's on blood thinners. Also, that's why the practitioner circle helps, because we have registered nurses, naturopathic doctors that occasionally come in, and nutritionalists, and there's a lot of peer checking to make sure that there's no issues with how you administer, basically.
I just had a quick question on your marketing. First off, very good presentation, very comfortable, very natural up there, so well done. So I get what you do, but if people are interested in your service, I mean, how do they know about you? How do they find out about you? Can you just go over a little bit more, your marketing, promotion, what you're doing along?
Right. So I was really expecting this business to expand after this exact juncture, and this is kind of a major jumping off point for me, because I'm knowing the things that I need. And this apothecary, like I have all the components around this, and a lot of the practitioners I work with are gonna have access to this too. But you also see that name that I mentioned in there. I have somebody who's helping me with the business and advertising way of doing things, because I'm a very paper book kind of person, and so I have people that are gonna help me with internet and advertising and setting up classes and educational videos and ways to interface. That's something that I have people that are gonna help me with, basically.
Great, thank you.
Thank you all very much. Thanks for listening.